Can you hear me, Ms. Washington?
Yes.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is the detention docket for the 323rd District Court for October 20th, 2020, in compliance with the Texas Supreme Court emergency order regarding the coronavirus. We're not conducting in-person court proceedings unless necessary, so we are using Zoom for remote software for this. In compliance with Judge Glenn Whitley's order on closing the courtrooms, since the public is not allowed to view these proceedings in person, we are broadcasting these proceedings on YouTube to comply with Article 1, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, also known as the Open Courts Act. No portion of this court proceeding may be recorded, copied, or broadcast. Violations of this order are punishable by contempt, up to 6 months in Tarrant County Jail, and a $500 fine. I do have a requirement that if you are here to observe, you may do so from the YouTube channel by going to youtube.com and searching for the 323rd District Court. However, if you're here as a participant, you must have your camera working, have your video feed on for Zoom. Right? If you do not, then I will remove you. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Benito Mendoza. Thank you, Sheriff, for bringing him here. All right, Mr. Mendoza, I guess your attorney is Mr. Adler. Is Mr. Adler here? Oh, there we are. All right, Mr. Mendoza, this is a 10-day detention hearing. You've been in custody for 10 days, so I need to review your case and make a decision whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. You do have a right to remain silent, and you have a right to an attorney. Mr. Adler has been appointed as your attorney. All right, Mr. Mendoza, I'm familiar with your case. This is a case that started over a decade ago, and you were inadvertently released by TJJD, by Mejia State School, and you did not return, which I understand why a person would not return. However, you also had been deported, left the country, illegally re-entered the country, and then were caught trying to leave the country again. So I'm concerned about whether you're going to appear in court or not, and so I'm going to go and detain you pending the outcome of your case. All right, Mr. Adler, do you need to explain this to your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Benito, ¿te recuerdas de lo que usted y yo hablamos de cuando te fue de Mejia? El juez tiene preocupaciones que se va a ir otra vez, así que en este momento te va a quedar ahí en la cárcel semana.
All right, Mr. Adler, you kind of broke up a bit. You want to ask him if he understood what you said?
Benito, ¿usted me oye?
Sí.
¿Entendiste lo que yo dije?
Sí.
He said, yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, no, not your fault. All right, thank you, Mr. Mendoza. All right, next we have Ian Beese.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Taylor. All right, Mr. Green, please turn on your camera.
I'm filling in for
Mr.
Officer.
Sierra, please turn on your camera. Mr. Sierra, please turn on your camera. All right. So it's Mr. Beast. Okay, hello, Mr. Beast. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days and have to decide whether to keep you or release you. Did I give you the full docket sheet? No, here it is. If I keep you here, then the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. I've appointed Ms. Taylor as your attorney pending the paperwork involved. Ms. Taylor, can you introduce yourself so he sees you pop up on the screen?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, good morning. All right, so Mr. Beast, you're 15 years old. You've never been here before. Let's see, yesterday about 8 o'clock, the sheriff's office was dispatched for a missing persons report at Clear Fork Academy. It said 6 people ran from the facility. The deputies located individuals walking down the service road. 2 of them ran toward a salvage yard. 1 deputy drove around to the back, found Ian. Deputy turned on his lights to identify himself. He ran and jumped over a gate, but then later was detained. The other individual was detained at the scene. Placed in the back of a patrol car, transported back to the academy. On 2 occasions, the deputy had to pull over due to Ian lighting cigars in the back of the patrol car. When the deputy arrived at the academy, Jack refused to get out. Deputy had to grab Jack's arm and he began to resist. He also kicked the deputy in the shin, groin, and ribs, causing him pain. Both were then transported here to the juvenile detention facility. So you were being brought back to the academy. They were just going to drop you off so you can continue over there. However, you decided to light cigars in the back of his car, the patrol car. We don't have a parent here. All right. Well.
Your Honor, we do have a parent here.
Oh,
Yes,
we do?
I'm here, sir. Yeah.
Okay, hello, Mr. Beast. Well, you know, I'm inclined to believe that this type of behavior is typical of Ian, and you're probably not surprised by this. All I have to say is you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Ian, I'm going to go ahead and detain you. All right, Jose Farias.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it broke up. Could you say that one more time?
Oh, I'm detaining him. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If he's lighting cigars in the back of the patrol car, yeah, he should expect to be detained. All right, Jose Farias.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Although I'm kind of surprised that the deputy didn't search him before putting him back in the car. Yeah.
No.
All right. So, Mr. Farias, this is out of custody detention hearing. All right, Mr. Farias, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You are here so I can decide whether to take you into custody or to keep you in the community. If I take you into custody, you get to see a judge every 10 days while you're here for the judge to decide whether to keep you or to release you. If I keep you here, then the judge sees you every 10 days. Mr. Sierra, I'm going to go ahead and remove you. Come back whenever you can turn your video on. All right. So you have a right to an attorney, you have a right to remain silent. All right, Mr. Farias. So according to the police, on September 19th, about 10 o'clock, they were dispatched. Jose had been in an argument with his neighbors. And then later he observed one of his neighbors riding a bike that he said belonged to him. The victim reported that when he was on his way home, he was struck twice in the head with a closed fist by his neighbor, causing him to black out. He said that Jose took his property by removing his shoes. He confronted Jose on the porch. Police confronted Jose on the porch. He would not follow instructions to get off the porch. He said he would only speak to deputies from his porch. Jose admitted to striking the victim and taking his shoes. Then he resisted police by pulling away when they were detaining him. All right, 2 days later, you were presented to me for initial detention hearing. I order you to be released on a drug patch when you are on level 1 outstanding to submit to random UAs after your drug patch level 0. So we gave you a drug patch. All right, a week later on the 29th, your dad emailed the DA with screenshots of text messages from Jose saying he's going to fight the victim at school. So our staff had a meeting. They contact you to remind you you're not allowed to have contact with the victim. That means no text, phone, social media, nothing. He warned you that if you continue to contact the victim, you have to come here and talk to me. So, see, I guess on Friday you contacted the PO. And the alleged victim went to your house 2 days ago to report that somebody wants to kill you. According to you, you don't know who wants to kill you. However, it may be a gang member. You related that you have past gang activity. So we said, call the police. And then you said that since your release, you had contact with the victim twice in person and admitted to texting him and had no valid reason for doing so. So we got the drug patch results. You were negative. All right, so Dad, you're here? Or Mom? Mom, you're here?
No.
Does Mom speak English?
No.
She does not, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Aguirre, if you can interpret for me. So I want to ask Mom, where do these neighbors live in relation to their house? How many houses away?
Judge Kim, is it okay if I interpret, because Ms. Aguirre has asked me to help her out?
Sure,
Sorry.
not a problem.
Okay. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Oh, how far away do these neighbors live? Like how many houses away?
Señora, ¿cuántas casas vive los vecinos de ustedes?
Está una traila donde vivo yo, que es 6237.
Hable un poquito más duro, por favor.
Está una traila que es mi número 6237, la que sigue es 6235 y la de ellos que ese sí no es el número de su casa, pero son dos, una casa antes de la mía.
Judge, I live in a trailer, so they don't live next door, but they live in the house next to my next door neighbor.
I mean, is the victim coming by to their home?
La víctima está viniendo a su casa.
Está parte del terreno donde yo estoy, que es la otra persona viene a donde yo vivo, que es el terreno donde él no debe de traspasar la propiedad y él traspasa la propiedad a donde él está.
Espera, oye la pregunta. La víctima está yendo a su casa.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Does she know what the subject of the text messages or contacts to the victim are?
¿Usted ha visto los mensajes de texto con su hijo y víctima? ¿O víctima?
Nomás que están en inglés y yo no les entiendo bien. Yo tengo una muchacha que tiene 17 años.
Espera, poco a poco.
Okay.
Judge, they're in English and I don't understand them well, but I have a 17-year-old. Okay, sigue.
Ok, me lo han estado acusando de que lo van a matar.
Señora, hazme un favor, cuando te haga la pregunta, nada más contesta la pregunta, ¿ok?
Ok.
All right. Sorry, Judge, I had to ask her to please just answer the question that you're asking.
All right, well, Jose, one of the rules that I have to consider, so on these detention hearings, right? I need to consider the safety of the public or you. I have to consider whether you would come back to court or not. And I have to also consider the protection of the victim, right? You had a very specific order that you're not to contact the victim, but yet you continue to do so. I'm glad your drug tests are negative, but that doesn't change the fact that you are not, the condition of your release was you not contact the victim, all right? There is a consequence to your decision, right? Your decision to contact the victim means I can go ahead and take you into custody at this point. We're gonna see how your behavior is at a 10-day hearing. Now you seem upset, but what are you upset about? Like when you reached out to the victim, you knew that you weren't supposed to. So this good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions.
He was contacting me and aggravating me, getting me to talk to him, which ended up with me talking to him. And I just got mad and told him, if you don't leave me alone, I'm gonna beat you over, go to school. But I didn't.
Was it worth it?
Sure.
All right. You have to remember things like this will come to when your case is done. When your case actually gets handled, like when you have your trial, I'll make a decision whether to send you to prison or to keep you on probation, right? If I don't think that the victim is safe, I'll send you to prison.
Yes, sir.
Like I don't think you understand how serious this is. When the court tells you you have to do something, it doesn't matter what you want to do, you have to do it, right? It's really, that's the way our system works. So at this point, we'll see you at the 10-day hearing. We'll make a decision whether to release you then or not based on your behavior here. I'm open to the idea of releasing you because the good thing is you didn't actually commit any violent acts. You didn't go show up at his door or anything like that. But I specifically told you were to have no contact with the victim. You decided that it was worth it, or there was an excuse, or it was reasonable to contact the victim when it wasn't. You just can't contact the victim. All right? All right. Thank you. And I'm assuming, Mr. Aguirre, we're going to go and give him a UA because he's going into custody now.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so Rodrigo Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hernandez. Judge Kim, this is a detention hearing. You've been here for, let's see. Oh, so you've been here, but your attorney is requesting a detention hearing for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Herrick. Yes. Okay, so before we start, You have a right to an attorney. Ms. Herrick is here as your attorney. You have a right to remain silent. If you say anything, nothing can be used against you at any other type of court setting. All right, Ms. Herrick, for what purpose did you ask for this hearing?
Yes, Your Honor. Rodrigo's mother is on the Zoom as well. I just saw her. Her name is Maria Alvarez. She is scheduled to have surgery on her neck or throat tomorrow for a cancer. Rodrigo is, other than her, he's the main caregiver for his younger brother. And with her, she's going to be out of commission a little bit after that surgery. Rodrigo's really concerned that he feels he needs to be there to take care of his brother and his mom after her surgery. He has been on level 1.0 for over 30 days, almost 40 days now. And so it is our request that he be released to be able to care for his family.
So who all lives in the house?
Ms. Alvarez, she speaks Spanish.
I can translate, that's not a problem. Señora Álvarez, por favor.
Sí.
¿Cuántos, bueno, quién y quién vive en su casa?
Tengo ahorita conmigo 3 de los muchachos.
Ajá. La edad, por favor.
A la muchacha de 18, el otro de 17 y el niño de 9.
Okay, so mom says she's got a daughter that's 18 years old, a son. ¿Cuántos años tiene su hijo?
9.
¿Y el otro?
17.
And then a 17-year-old son and a 9-year-old son as well.
So Rodrigo and I talked about his siblings. They both work all day, and they are not going to be able to care for his 9-year-old brother.
How long will mom be invalid for?
How long will she be what?
Incapacitated for?
That's a question I don't know the answer to.
Can you ask mom? Ms. Gonzalez?
No problem. ¿Por cuánto tiempo va a estar bajo bueno, cuánto tiempo va a tomar su cirugía, señora Álvarez?
La verdad que no sé qué tanto tiempo, el tiempo no me lo explicaron, nada más el proceso.
Okay. So mom says that they did not explain to her the time. They just explained to her that it was a biopsy that she's having done, and it's an outpatient procedure.
Scheduled for tomorrow?
Yes.
That's correct. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning. And I believe her daughter, the oldest, is going to be present with her as she needs to translate as well.
So all right. So what exactly does she need him to do if he was to come home?
Do you mean like chores?
Right. Really for Ms. Gonzalez, I need to know, like specifically, why does he need to be there?
Perfect. Señor Álvarez, lo que quiere el juez saber es exactamente por qué necesita a su hijo en casa en este momento.
Claro que sí, pues porque lo necesito es porque yo prácticamente mis otros 2 hijos trabajan y no tienen descanso. Él es el que me ayuda con el niño para mis citas.
So she's saying that practically the other older children work and that Rodrigo is normally the one that helps her with the youngest to watch him.
What would prevent her from watching the youngest? I guess I'm trying to find the need. I understand it's more convenient to have Rodrigo there, but my question is, what's the need? I mean, at the end of the day, he's accused of shooting at people with a gun. So.
Señor Álvarez, el juez quiere saber por qué lo necesita, o sea, por qué, no solamente porque lo quiere en casa, obviamente, pero...
Sí, porque pues es como le digo, yo tengo muchas citas que tuve que cancelar porque por el proceso ahorita de todo lo que está pasando, lo de la pandemia no me lo dejan llevar a las clínicas. Estoy perdiendo yo muchas citas importantes porque él es el que se quedaba en casa con el niño más chiquito. Ahorita que tiene clases en línea, pues tampoco no me lo pueden dejar donde sea que estudie. Ese es el motivo que yo necesito a Rodrigo en casa porque estoy perdiendo muchas citas muy importantes.
So she's saying, Your Honor, she's saying that she has lost several appointments because she has not been able to find childcare. And she says that Rodrigo aids in that. When she's at an appointment, he normally supervises him.
All right, so my question for mom then is if I release him, he'll be on electronic monitor, he cannot leave the house. Any violation will issue a warrant for him. If he decides to run away, then I will issue a warrant for mom to sit in Tarrant County Jail until we can recover him. Is she willing to take that responsibility?
Señor Álvarez, el juez le está diciendo que si él decide de dejar que Rodrigo regrese a casa bajo términos que va a usar el monitor electrónico, va usted a traerlo a corte y bueno, también avisarnos si en caso que algo no vaya bien o si él no se porta bien en casa, nos va a poder decir y también obviamente el juez está diciendo que en caso que, bueno, su muchacho se vaya o algo, corte el monitor, que usted va a ser la responsable y él va a poder mandar una orden de arresto para que la arresten a usted. ¿Usted está disponible bajo esos términos, pedir que Rodrigo regrese a casa?
Definitivamente sí, aunque el juez no sugiriera una orden de arresto para mí, yo sería la primera en que él comete una falta o un delito, yo misma lo entrego.
Your Honor, she says absolutely she would take that risk.
Okay, I don't mind. So she understands she can have an appointment with a doctor or surgery or anything, but we're going to send deputies to her house or wherever she is and arrest her if Rodrigo does not, if he runs off. Okay, if she wants that responsibility, I'll go and give it to her. Rodrigo, I'm going to release you on electronic monitor, but this is going to be very strict. You cannot leave the home. You're being released to be a babysitter, so you're not even going to school. All right, you're going to have to do the distance learning.
Yes, sir.
But you're not leaving the house.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Rodrigo.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Herrick.
Gracias.
There's a couple you have to think of the last. You and Ms. Keenan, both of you are killing me with the
Yeah.
last names.
My name's the same, hers is not.
You know, it took me, I think, 5 years for Don Newell to become Don Ferguson.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
Decoria Montague.
Please there, Judge.
All right, Mr. Montague, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. Sir, can you please sit up? This isn't a couch. This isn't your mom's living room.
It's like how the computer is. They got the thing leaning back.
All right, Mr. Montague, this is a detention hearing. I'm here. You've been here for 10 days, and you decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, then you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You're 16 years old. All your business with this court started when you were 12 with an evading arrest. You turned 13 with an assault bodily injury. Next month, another assault case with an assault serious bodily injury. 3 months later, another assault. A month after that, you had an evading arrest. 5 months later, unauthorized use of motor vehicle. A couple cases dismissed. Eventually, when you were 15, you pick up, or 14, you pick up another stolen car case. So now we're here. Let's see. Back in January, you cut off your electronic monitor, and then while you're on patrol, police saw one of your associates hanging out at a convenience store. They pulled in the parking lot, saw you sitting inside a car. They recognized you, and they knew you had a homicide warrant. So detained all of you all at gunpoint, disobeyed commands, put your hands up, saw you passing something to somebody in the back seat, and he got out, found a gun in the car. So, see, this is from May of earlier this year. Somebody flagged down police. Oh, this is the one where you're accused of shooting somebody over $40 in weed. So, all right, well, yeah, at this point, Mr. Monica, you're on probation, you absconded from probation, and you picked up a homicide case. So I'm not inclined to release you. Plus you're level 2. You know, I'm not even gonna start the conversation if you're not level 1. All right, so Mr. Montague, hope you get your behavior level up. You know, your attorney needs as much ammunition as possible to help you in your case. All right, if you want to go ahead and make it harder for your attorney, then go ahead and keep on losing points. But if you want to make your attorney's job easier to convince me that you deserve probation, or I don't know, who's the state on this? Who's the state? Ms. Richmond, are we looking at certification on this one?
Your Honor, I can answer that. It's actually Zane's case. He has gone to the grand jury for determinant and for certification. We are missing quite a bit of items, but we do have a status conference coming up on Monday on this. And I've already emailed Zane to see where we are in the process of getting, we're missing a ton of evidence.
Okay, well, Mr. Montague, I want to make sure your attorney has she will tell you I'm more than fair about that. I want to make sure your attorney has every resource available to help you. That's all I can do. You have to make sure your attorney has every resource available to help you as well. And if it's my decision whether to certify you as an adult for the adult system, then your behavior level, your actions in detention are factors that will be considered in my decision. So I encourage you and I recommend to you do the best you can while you're back there. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Montague. Yes, ma'am.
So do the attorney supposed to communicate? Because we haven't heard from her since she became the Corian's attorney.
I have been communicating with my client.
Oh, so you don't, okay.
So, okay.
Like I said, there's a lot of things that are missing right now.
So, Mom, well, you have to understand, okay, my question is, you said we, I think you understand it. So this juvenile is a weird situation. Technically, your son is her client. So her duty and her loyalty is to your son. Now, I understand that your mom, and as parents, it's hard for us not to get involved in our kids' lives. There's very specific rules of ethics for attorneys that she can be prohibited from telling you things. And in some ways, the attorney-client relationship can be pierced by her relaying things to you, all right? So it's weird that you have the ability to hire another attorney while your son doesn't, to replace her, but whatever attorney that represents your son, their loyalty is to your son and not to you. Right? I know it's hard to understand as a parent. We're used to being parents, but it's just one of those legal rules. Okay, so if she's not communicating with you, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a good thing. All right, it just means there's certain rules she may be kind of handcuffed by that she has no choice. Okay, so but I understand your frustration. That's not lost on me. But please understand, she could be in a pickle through no fault of your own or my own. Okay. All right, but that doesn't stop you from asking her questions. You can ask her questions, you can email her, you can call her, but I'm just saying she may not be able to answer it.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Keenan Perkins. Here's part of the problem. The sheet says Keenan's and her screen says Perkins. On the what? For the auditor, okay. All right. All right, we have Jack Moore with Carmen Johnson. Mr. Moore, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When a child's brought to a facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you here or to release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Jack, I'm familiar with your case because I just read the one about Ian, and Ms. Johnson's your attorney, and I will let you know right now, Ms. Johnson does not want you to say anything at all. Ms. Johnson, can you introduce yourself so you pop up on the screen?
Hi, Jack. How you doing?
All right. Do you see Ms. Johnson there? All right. So.
And you have a right to remain silent, so don't talk.
Yes. So she's telling you to use it. All right. So this is one ran away from the Clear Fork Academy by a salvage yard. Tarrant County Sheriff found y'all. See, Ian ran off. You came out of the salvage yard, yelled profanities, and flipped the officer off. tried to hit the officer with his fist 2 times. You refused to get in the car, made your body stiff. They got you in the car. You started lighting cigars in the car, and then you said you would not exit the vehicle. When they tried to remove you, you began resisting by pulling away. Then you kicked the officer in the shin, the groin, and kicked him in the ribs. Officer felt pain. So you're looking at an assault of a peace officer. So, Jack, all they were trying to do is take you back to Clear Fork, and they were just going to drop you off because you're a runaway, and now you're looking at a felony, which you can go to TJJD for. You know what TJJD is? No, it's prison for kids, right? And this would be an indeterminate sentence. So if I sent you there, you would just stay there until they felt like you were no longer a danger to yourself or to the others or the community. And so that can be all the way up until your 19th birthday. All right, so are the parents here? Did they appear remotely?
Yes, sir. They're remotely there.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here. I'm Jack's father.
Okay. All right, Mr. Morwell. Let's see. All right, so this is my concern is if I just release him back to Clear Fork, that he's just going to run away again. All right, that's, at this point, have you given Ms. Turnerhill the list of medications that he's on?
I believe Clear Fork is communicating that information to them.
Good.
I don't think they've gotten it to him yet. This is Jack's mom.
Okay. Are you all still together or are you separated?
We're together. We're just in different.
We're together.
You know I have to ask that question, right? So, okay. So Clear Fork's working on that. Do you know the last time you saw a mental health doctor? Did they tell you?
The last time he saw, I think, was last week.
Last week. Okay. So his prescription should be pretty current.
Judge, if I may, I read somewhere that the parents are also trying to establish maybe a more appropriate venue for Jack due to some other issues that are going on. I'd ask you to allow them to do that and have him placed in an environment that would benefit him.
Sure, I understand. So, Mom, Dad, I'm open to the idea. I don't necessarily think, especially if he has underlying mental health concerns, I don't think this is the most appropriate facility, but I think we can agree that Clear Fork's not an appropriate facility either if he's just going to run away and cause problems. All right, so, and this is, Ms. Turner, what neighborhood was this in, the salvage yard?
I believe it was off of Jacksboro Highway.
Okay.
I think there's some in my room.
All right. Okay, well, it's not like he was running around Las Vegas Trail, right? So, but I'm concerned, Mom, Dad, if I release him to Clear Fork or to you, he'll just run away again. If you have other options you want to pursue, I'm open to releasing him to the other facility. You'll probably need a lockdown facility, given what I've seen so far. But I don't necessarily want to keep him here. My concern is I just don't want him to run out again and get in more trouble. Okay? So think of this as kind of a purgatory, Jack. And then we can figure out now, if you do find a place in Travis County does have many options for juvenile offenders. They have a very impressive program. And this is the kind of thing that usually gets transferred between the counties since y'all are in Austin.
Yeah, we're actually on a strange area of Austin. We're still in Williamson County.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know the juvenile judge in Williamson County as well. And so typically in these cases, when a child actually lives in a different county, we want the resources that are closer to home rather than further away. Okay. So those are just options. Ms. Turnerhill can, Ms. Turnerhill can explain that to you. But meanwhile, if you are starting to look for a different placement for him, then I'm all ears. I'm open to releasing him to the other placement. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor. We're actively looking for other placement.
Jack, I hope you understand decisions have consequences. Good decisions come from experience. Experience comes from bad decisions. All right? And there's no situation in life that's so bad that you can't make it worse. And all they were going to do is drop you off back at Clear Fork, but you made it worse. So Jack, I'm detaining you. If you're here for 10 days, we'll see you in 10 days. Thank you. All right, Cameron Newton. All right, Mr. Newton, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention hearing, and you You've been here for 10 days. She's been here for 130 days. And so I'm reviewing your case, deciding whether to release you or to keep you here. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days. All right, so you've had problems since, you were 12 years old. Burglary vehicle, robbery, aggravated robbery, unauthorized use of motor vehicle, theft of stolen car. Now we're here. Let's see, robbery call. Oh yeah, home invasion robbery, AR-15, gunshots fired, and you were level 3 confined. So, Mr. Newton, I would need to let you know that you turned 17 on November 29th. And so when you're 17 years old, I have the option of keeping you here or transfer you downtown to county lockup. And so your behavior level is really what determines that. If you're a good example for the other kids in our detention facility, I will keep you here. It's kind of a privilege that you earn. You're paying rent by setting a good example and being a leader. However, if you're causing problems and your behavior level is low, then I just send you to county lockup, right, downtown. And you can take care of your case then. I'm not happy for the level 3 confined. Ms. Smiley, can you tell us why he's 3 confined? Is it self-seclusion or did he do something?
No, Your Honor. He was actually secluded for initiating an attack on another resident past Sunday.
Okay. Is this one, do you know, are they looking for certification on this or just determined sentence? I mean, it is determined sentence, but.
Yes, Your Honor. They've only filed a determined sentence petition.
Okay.
We're waiting on a placement search. They're in the process of doing that placement search, Your Honor.
How long have we been looking for a placement?
He has been looking for a placement search. Let's see. I stabbed him on October the 7th. So since about the 8th or the 9th of this month.
Ms. Keenan, I'm going to put you on the spot, but if he's level 3 confined, why are we even trying with placement?
To give him a shot at trying to do that and not send him just to TJJD.
But I mean, he's level 3 confined. I mean, he's the absolute worst level in our facility. Eventually, we keep on sending kids like this to these placements. The placements are going to stop taking our kids. Well, I mean, over the search, we'll let it go through. But Cameron, I hope you understand this conversation I'm having with your attorney is that it's not that you deserve placement. You have to convince me, your attorney has to convince me that placement's appropriate. If you're behaving like this back here, man, it's going to be harder for her to explain to me why placement's a viable alternative for you and why I shouldn't send you to TJJD. Right? I mean, the number 1 rule to life when you dug yourself into a hole, stop digging. Just quit digging. All right, Mr. Newton, so I'm going to detain you. We'll see you in 10 days. All right,
Thank you,
Hugo Reyes. All right, Mr. Reyes, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. When child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days, and I have to decide whether to keep you or release you. If I keep you here, you need to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We've appointed Mr. Adler as your attorney. Mr. Adler, introduce yourself, please.
Hey, Hugo.
All right, Hugo, you see your attorney pop up on the screen?
Yes,
Okay. All right, so Judge Porter issued a warrant for you for violating your EM. So, see, on September 11th, mom called to say you left the house without permission. And on the 28th, probation talked to you about leaving the house. Again, on the 27th, on 3 occasions for 20-minute increments. It's the second time he warned you about leaving the house without a timeout. October 7th, probation called you again, asked why you left the house without timeout scheduled for 20 minutes. And so this was the last warning. We did verify that you violated your EM. And so while they were trying to arrest you, on the warrant, you ran from the officers. You were arrested and got a ticket for no seatbelt. since you remove your seatbelt in a patrol car. And they were telling you to buckle yourself. That's clever. All right, so this goes back to July. Police were flagged down by a victim, said they were walking back from the store. Hugo and his adult brother were following them. Hugo had a pistol, held it out, demanded their property. And Hugo pointed the pistol at the victim that ran, fired a shot, hit the concrete next to him. They ran into an apartment complex. Ms. Guerrero, who's the one that, did I release him?
No, Judge, I don't believe it was you. I believe it was Judge Porter, but let me confirm that.
Okay. Well, at least you didn't pick up a new gun crime. All right, so Hugo, you know, it's your unlucky day because if it was up to me, I wouldn't have released you because you had a gun crime. Yes, sir.
Yeah, when Ms. Guerrero called and said, and she said that I left home. I was at my house. My mom was there the whole day. I mean, when she called her, my mom even told her that she was there the whole day. I mean, I didn't even leave the house.
I think you're missing the problem. See, my point is, if it was me, I wouldn't have released you because you fired your gun at somebody. All right, Judge Porter, you must have caught him on a good day or somehow you were trying to convince him to release you. So had you just stayed on the outside and not had any problems at all, like all 3 violations or run for the police, then you would have been out and I never would have known about it. But since you had these repeat violations, you came back on my radar. And so now I get to see you and see that I don't think you should be released, but I'm not going to second guess Judge Porter. But at this point, I'm not going to release you. And Stephanie, let's go ahead and put a note, do not release per district judge. And so you'll see me at the 10-day hearings. You'll have to convince me to release you. Yes, sir.
How would I have to convince you to leave?
Well, you know what? I will tell you, the way to convince me is you were out, never violated your monitor, never ran from the police, never pulled your shenanigans with the police by taking off your seatbelt, and somehow you just popped up. I'm like, why do you get released? And just been like, well, if he's been doing well, I'll let him stay out. At this point, my deal is I'm not comfortable with kids that have guns or use guns being out in the community. Yes, sir.
I mean, yeah, I understand that point, yeah, but I mean, when they say that I was resisting, it's because they arrested me in my house, right? I was in the couch, and then I had this.
I'm not even worried about that.
Yeah.
Well, you're missing the point, right? The point is you kind of slipped through the cracks and got a free gift. You got a freebie by getting out. And you took advantage of that and you pushed it and you broke the rules. What you should have known is when you got out, like, dang, they messed up. They let me out. I got to live the straight and narrow so Judge Kim doesn't find out about it. But you kept on pushing. You kept on pushing. You kept on pushing. Well, you did. 3 different violations. Running from the cops.
Sir, I didn't violate my monitor. When the 3rd time she called, I was not even outside. I was in my house the whole day. It was a Saturday. I was in my house the whole day. My mom was there.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Guerrero.
Hold on.
You had the Securus report? How far did he go?
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Yep. So I will tell you one thing. It doesn't work out to lie to me. All right. So she's gonna pull up the reports.
I'm not lying to you.
Really? Okay. Hold on a second. I'm excited.
Judge, all of the violations have been in the apartment complex. He's staying in the apartment complex. He's just stepping outside of his house. Like the progress report that I submitted, he told me that he was expecting for someone to come to the house. So he allegedly stepped out so they could see him, and then he stepped out again. But he's staying in the apartment complex is where he's staying.
Right. It's a different part of the complex, right?
Yes.
More than the 3 meters from his actual apartment?
Yes.
Yeah. You left your home. It's GPS, man. You can't fool GPS. Right? You can fool it by 3 meters. That's about 3 yards. since we're in America. Yes, sir.
How can she say it was more than 3 meters if I was like down my house, like downstairs, like?
So you're gonna keep on lying to me. Is that what you're saying?
No, I was in the stairs of my house. The first time when she called, yeah, that's true. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you.
So you want to keep on digging this hole deeper?
Huh?
You're going to keep on digging this hole deeper?
Huh?
You want to keep on digging this hole deeper?
No, sir.
Now I have, you got let out by accident, you violated your minor 3 times, you ran from the cops, you kept on unbuckling your seatbelt, now you're lying to me in court. What else do you want to add to that?
I'm not lying to you, sir.
So now you're doubling down on your lie. What else do you want to add to it?
Nothing, sir.
And that's a wise decision. All right, so we'll see how you do. We'll see you in 10 days, Hugo. All right, forgiven Swift.
I got a question, sir.
What'd you say? Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, I got a question for Mr. Frank Adler.
Okay, he can call you.
Okay. Can you call me?
I'll go see you.
Okay.
All right, forgiven Swift.
Your Honor, if I just may real quick, the mother is unable to attend this morning.
Okay. All right, so Carmen, Mr. Sierra, I had kicked him off of Zoom because he wouldn't turn his camera on. And so he's saying he's unable to rejoin. So Ms. Johnson, I asked you to fill in for Mr. Sierra.
All righty.
All right, so forgiven, I'm Judge Kim. This is a 10-day detention, or this is a detention hearing. Whenever you've been here for 2 days, you have to see a judge. I have to decide whether to keep you here or release you. If I keep you here, you have to see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. And your attorney, Mr. Sierra, is unable to attend. So Ms. Carmen Johnson is attending. I will let you know because I know Carmen well. She is advising you to use your right to remain silent. Do not say anything to me at all. And so, all right, so forgiven, I remember you. You have 4 previous assault family violence cases, now an ag assault with a deadly weapon case, and then a week later, a resisting arrest case. And so yesterday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, there was police responded to domestic. You were sitting at the kitchen table with stepdad. Stepdad said he was out of breath for holding you down since you were destroying the house. They saw broken glass, items around the house. They told you that you were going to be detained and you refused. The officer told you that you're going to be tased if you did not comply. Then you stuck out your arm and allowed yourself to be cuffed. When they were escorting you out, you took off running through several rooms in the house, was able to remove one of her hands from the cuffs. They detained you again, took you to the patrol unit, you refused to get in the car. You spit on one of the officers, hitting him behind his left ear, and tried to spit on the second officer. Then spoke to the mom, she said she was sick and told you were going to have to leave to see the doctor. You didn't want her to leave, or she said she would have to leave and see the doctor. You didn't want her to leave, so you started breaking things, started punching your mom, kicking her, bit stepfather. Oh, and you're positive for weed too. Why do you have pending cases? So CPS took custody of you and returned you back to the family. We decided no disposition since you're receiving services through CPS. Mom here?
No, Your Honor, she's unable to attend.
So she's still continuing to receive services through CPS?
Your Honor, we just went to court on Thursday. I closed this file out yesterday. She was referred in about an hour after I closed out the file. We put this case on a judgment withheld status for about 30 days. She was adjudicated. We kind of let it sit for about 30 to 40 days prior to the disposition. She stayed out of trouble during that time, was in care of CPS. The close was being closed, and she was receiving counseling through OCOK. That was Thursday, where no disposition was decided, bringing us to today's events.
All right, so forgiven, I'm going to lay this out real simple for you. I'm done with you. All right, you have gotten to the very end of the rope and you're hanging by a thread. So at this point, I'm inclined to think that there are no options in the community to help you, that the only resources available are in TJJD. You have a felony offense, so you can be committed to TJJD. So it is at this point, October 20th, 2020 is where you need to decide whether you're going to get your act together and do right and do what you're supposed to do, or you're going to go to TJJD. Flat out, this is all it is. You need to decide. If you decide TJJD, fine, fantastic. Let me know, let your attorney know, and we'll make it happen. If you decide that you're going to do right, we might give you a chance. But at this point, you still have to convince me that you deserve that chance. But I'm tired of seeing your name on this list. I'm tired of these hearings. I'm tired of you beating up your mom and causing problems in the house, breaking things, causing problems with the police. I'm done. I'm just about checked out on you. Right? So, forgiven, I'm detaining you. Let's see how you do. If you start to mess up, because I remember your behavior level would drop for causing problems back here at detention. If you continue to do that here, then we'll just go ahead and set a final trial for you in 10 days and just send you off to TJJD. It's your decision now, all right? So you are detained. At this point, I'm going to turn the detention hearing over to Judge Terry, and she will continue this matter. Thank you, Judge Terry.
Thank you, Judge Kim. All right. Bryce Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm Judge Terry. This is your detention hearing. You have a right to have this hearing every 10 business days once you have been detained. And the purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if I should keep you detained. You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. And I know that your attorney was on here. Okay, there's Mr. Graham. All right, do we have a parent or guardian here for him?
Yes, Your Honor, the mother is present.
Okay, on the iPhone there? All right, thank you.
Yes, on the iPhone.
Okay.
Here.
See where he's at. All right. Okay, this is your first 10-day detention hearing, it looks like. You've been level 1 outstanding since the 17th, so for the last 3 days, you have a pending offense of theft from a person back here on a violation of a court order. Turned yourself in on the 6th of October. The reporter issued a directive to apprehend. You were failing to contact your PO on scheduled dates. Currently on probation for unlawful carrying a weapon. Third for theft from a person, let's see, detained on the 6th of October. Failed to make contact with your PO on several occasions back, well, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, back in August. And on the 6th was a complaint. October 6th. Referral from the theft.
One can't possibly do this.
The report on the 16th of August. Confusing because the dates don't line up with. Okay. Officers were dispatched to a Circle S food store in Grapevine in reference to a stolen vehicle. Victim stopped by the store to get coffee and left his Ford Explorer running with the keys inside. While in the store, 2 black teens walked in behind him. One of them was wearing a white t-shirt and black and gray shorts, and the other had a black top with dark pants. One with the white attempts to grab the wallet from his hand and failed to take it. Victim backs up and the teenagers walk out of the store, and then you realize his Explorer is missing. He went inside the store to view the video, and it showed all 3 suspects getting into his vehicle. The offense was captured on video, and it was a good recording of the suspects. So then who identified him? I'm not understanding this report. Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor.
How was he identified?
They had him on video at the store where he attempted to get the wallet from the victim. There's also a video that showed the truck pulling off.
So I'm assuming at some point they were stopped, and I just don't have the rest of the story here. Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't have that before me, Your Honor, but I can get that to you.
Well, he does have prior dispositions, and he did turn himself in on a DTA, so I'm not too concerned about that right now, but I'm curious. Positive for marijuana when he came in.
Psychological evaluation is scheduled for 2 days from now,
Yes, Your Honor.
and they're seeking placement. Looks like he's got quite a long history. Looks like you've got quite the history, Mr. Jones. Kind of ramped it up in the last year.
I finished that probation.
Well, I know, but you know what? The point of finishing the probation is to rehabilitate you so you don't have to come back here and do it all over again and pick up new offenses. So you think you're good to go? If I release you, you can go do other stuff once we resolve what's in front of you now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. You probably should not talk. I'm sure Mr. Graham you don't want to make Mr. Graham's job harder, okay?
No, all I was gonna say is I live in Crowley, Texas. Like,
I know they're talking about placement search on here. Ms. Washington, do you think that's where we're at already?
I was planning on staffing him after I received the psychological, and I was going to request a placement search so that as soon as I get the psych, it can be conducted before his hearing. However, his hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. I reached out to Mr. Graham and explained to him that the psychological is not going to be received until the 29th. So yeah, I don't know what his stance is.
Yeah, he's not ready for the hearing tomorrow, I don't think.
Right, Ron. I've talked with Ms. Smith. We're going to pass tomorrow. I'll file the motion later today, but we're going to pass the hearing tomorrow. But one thing, that the evaluation itself has been done, correct, Ms. Washington? We're just waiting.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Graham. It's due on the 22nd. The email that I forwarded you is due on the 22nd.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what we're going to do. I want him to stay here to get the psychological evaluation because he's had plenty of violations before, and he's obviously recently had trouble reporting and following authority like he's supposed to. So, Mr. Jones, you stay on level 1 outstanding until the 23rd. That means no, like you don't drop to 1A. You stay on 1O the whole time till the 23rd, get the psychological evaluation done, and then I will give you a shot on being released on the EM, okay?
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You violate that, and you're just gonna sit here for a while, and you're gonna give me a reason to go ahead and order that placement search, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, you know what? Why don't we, just to cover our bases, like you said, just as a matter of efficiency, just go ahead and do that. Do a search. I'm not saying that it's appropriate at this time, but I guess Mr. Jones's behavior will tell us that, whether or not he wants to be able to do this at home or if he wants to be placed somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. For now, he's detained. Let's get the psychological done and then see what his behavioral level is on the 23rd.
Okay, I got a question. So if I'm on level 1O Friday, if I'm on my level 1O to Friday, I go home Friday, right?
That is correct. Mom can come get you that day. Okay, but you would be on a monitor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
And Your Honor, just to be clear, you don't need me to request a new detention hearing before Friday or for
That is
Friday?
correct. It's just that if he's on level, yep, that's correct.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. We did Christian Mays earlier. I did his earlier. Wesley Smith. Hi, Wesley. This is
Your Honor.
Good morning. Wesley, this is your 10-day detention hearing. Purpose is to determine whether I can release you to a parent or guardian or if you should remain detained. Is that mom there? All right. Yeah. You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. You also have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Key Ables, and she is here. Do you see her?
No, ma'am, but I believe you.
Yep, she's got a red sweater on. I want you to see her. She's got her hand up and a red sweater.
No, ma'am, I don't see her on the screen, but I'm sure she's there.
Can you speak up, Ms. Ables? That way your box will highlight.
Hey, Wes.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I see her.
All right. They've been level 1 outstanding for the last 7 days. That is good. Remember, you referred in for assault, public servant, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Currently on probation, positive for marijuana back in August. You're scheduled for a psychological evaluation on the 25th of this month, so later this week. And your adjudication proceeding is set for next week.
Judge, I thought he already had a psychological evaluation.
What's going on, Mr. Reyes?
Your Honor, there's one on the record from June, back in June. I don't know if that one is still good or not for the next hearing. That will be a question.
Didn't we, Stephanie, did you see anything in the notes? I mean, I thought that, yeah, what's with the TOIRC? I thought there was a note, there's a note here that we were waiting on a bed there for him.
Yes, Your Honor. Back then, he was scheduled to go on the 14th for TYRC residential. However, that's when a few days before this incident happened, that's when he assaulted the in the back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so that one occurred here in the back while he was waiting for the bed. So he's ruined his chance at going and getting a bed, but I'm sure he wants me to release him to go home.
But Judge, his parents are in the process of, they're looking at 2 different schools, therapeutic schools, where he can get education and get treatment and everything. He has a doctor's appointment this week with Dr. Sankara. The fact that he's been on level 1 outstanding for any days is fantastic for Wes. He's actually, in my opinion, been in there. This is the point where he needs to go home, and we need to let him go home, and the onus is on Wes. Is he going to be successful? Is he going to listen to his parents? Is he going to listen to Mr. Reyes? Is he going to listen to me? We need to figure that out, and this is the perfect time to do that. Wes had to work harder than most kids back there, in my opinion, to get to level 1, and he did it. And whatever little bit we can give him, this needs to be it. And I'm sorry.
Has he had a psychiatric evaluation?
Dr. Sankara, did Sankara do one, Lynn?
Oh, you're muted, ma'am.
There's a special, somebody extra has to do it.
Okay, yes, he's seen a lot of doctors. Dr. Sankara is his psychiatrist. He's diagnosed with anxiety and depression. Really, meds have not worked. He, the last June psychological in jail diagnosed him with conduct disorder and cannabis use disorder. And the recommended treatment was cognitive behavioral therapy, which we've been doing. It just hasn't taken. So we do have an appointment with someone tomorrow for just an LPC, but this person takes in-person counseling right now because the Zoom process really didn't work for Wesley or us. So
are you're able to take him and provide treatment for him from home?
Absolutely. I don't work now. He will never be unsupervised. My husband gets home from work at 4 o'clock, so we're both there all night. And I've seen a heart shift in Wesley in the last maybe 10 days. On the phone talking to him, he seems willing to accept the authority that's over him, try to live under it.
Well,
this has been a village, Judge.
I know, I recall, yeah. Yep.
And so, and Wes, I am so proud of this young man because he started listening, and he has made great improvements. And like I said before, he needs a reward, and we need to let him go.
I was. One of the reasons I'm going to release you is because you have two parents there who are able to provide you the help that you need, okay? Don't make it difficult for them, okay? I think you're doing well to help yourself. It's been over a month since you had that issue there in the back, and you have been on level 1 outstanding for 7 days. So I'm going to go ahead and release you. I am going to put you on a monitor just because of the other pending offense that you had. Tells me that you run off, you know, and do stuff. So I'm going to put you on a monitor so that will help make mom and dad's job easier. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't give your mom a hard time about going to your appointments and doing stuff you're supposed to be doing. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I think that's my last one. Can I be?
It is. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Rudy Valle.
Your Honor, mom was notified this morning or reminded this morning. She said she got the reminder the last minute, so she's not coming this morning.
Okay.
Detention hearing.
Okay. She's probably worn out.
Probably.
Hi, Rudy. This is your 10-day detention hearing. You know, it's to determine whether I can release you back home to your mom or if I should keep you here detained. You have a right to remain silent, but if you do speak, you know, nothing you say can be held against you at any other kind of proceeding. I can only consider it for detention purposes. And you have the right to have an attorney present. Your attorney is Mr. Green, and he is here. So, Ms. Johnson, if you wanted to sign off, you are free to go. This is my last one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Well, you've been level 1 outstanding since the 16th, so the last 4 days, so that's good. Let's see. I can't remember. Mr. Reyes, who released him before?
That was Judge Porter. He got his probation got extended, Your Honor.
Okay. Yep.
3 days he was released on the monitor, and like 3 days later he
Back
started.
in June, and then
Right.
a DTA. Mm-hmm.
Right. And right now, if I want to just elaborate more on this case, he's set for December the 8th, and there's a placement search as of yesterday.
Did for marijuana when he came in a month ago.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the thing, Rudy, you've been here for so long again. I don't like keeping you here. I really don't. But it's DTA after DTA after DTA. And then in between, you know, every now and then you pick up a new offense. Now in this last one with your friends, you know, there's a gun involved. Mr. Reyes, do you know what the longest Rudy's been on level 1 outstanding?
Okay, that'll be since he's been for, if I'm counting right as of today, 6 days, maybe 7.
So that's the most he's ever been on level 1 outstanding?
Yes, Your Honor. Because he has, since he's been there, 18 level 3s and 5 level 2s.
I mean, Rudy, you're telling me that you do want to go home because seems to me like you're turning your behavior around for now. You've done this before though, and that's why you've been released before. So I'm confident that you can do it. I'm not sold that you will do it. And my biggest concern is there was a gun in these last two alleged offenses. I really need to be sure that you can have consistent level 1 outstanding behavior, because I know that you don't listen to your mom. I know that. Here's what I want to do. Why don't we set him for the detention hearing a week from today and see if he is still on level 1 outstanding with no hiccups. Make sure mom knows, see if she can be here. I'm not promising you that you're going to be released if you stay on level 1 outstanding already, okay? So even if I don't, then stay on level 1 outstanding anyways, just because you've got a final hearing coming up, okay? And so you just need to do that in order to help yourself, help the outcome of these cases, okay? All right, so for now, I'm not quite convinced that the community would be safe if I released you, or that you would have suitable supervision, because I know you don't listen to your mom, but I'm open to considering it again a week from now instead of 2 weeks, okay? All right, but for now, you're detained. Thank you.
And Judge, can I add something?
Yes.
So you're aware of why we did what we did. The only reason we pushed it to a bench trial so fast is because he is detained. We've given up our right to a jury just because he's sitting in jail, and you know, and we all know if the detention hearing report, that first paragraph was all you heard at trial, he'd be entitled to a verdict, a not guilty verdict. So that's why we did so, Your Honor.
Yeah, I know, and I'm glad that it's pushed up. I am worried. Page 2 is what I'm most concerned about. Does that make sense, Mr. Green?
Yes, Your Honor, but you weren't there when we set this, so that's why I'm just letting you know why we did it.
All right, good. I'm glad you did, though. All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be dismissed?
Yes, thank you all. That concludes our detention hearings for today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.